Hey everybody, Rob from Karma Comic Chameleon coming at you with a Tales from the Front Desk story that really isn't a Tales from the Front Desk at all. It's a story of coming from nothing and working your way to the top. It's titled, What a Wild Ride It's Been. Let's jump right in. Please hit that subscribe button for more daily Reddit stories. Here I am in my mid-20s, and I'm with my best friend visiting his family in the next state over. Then I get a phone call that changed my life forever. I was offered a job at a mid-scale hotel. Beep Inn & Suites. It was a FDA job that I also had to do laundry. My work times were crazy. 7 to 3 p.m., then next shift was 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., then 8 more hours off, and back to the desk at 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. I worked crazy hard at that job and learned all that I could. I was there for 2.5 years. I left shortly after I found out that my owner's wife would go into reservations about 20 minutes after I checked someone in, and she would raise the rate by $15 or more. Next, I moved to a town 2 hours away and worked for Best Eastern for about 2.5 years. It was still a mid-scale hotel, but it was 2 blocks from a huge lake. It was the kind of place that in the winter, I might have 4 people in-house, and in the summer, we were like chickens with no heads. One day, we had a manager change, and the owner set up a company-wide meeting while I was working the front desk. During that meeting, I had to leave to take care of a customer, and I went back to the meeting like nothing ever happened. Fast forward 6 months to find out that when I stepped out of that meeting, the owner made me a manager without talking to me about it. I was just being me and doing my thing every night, and then one employee told a guest that I was their boss and they could talk to me about their issue. I told my fellow FDA I'm happy to talk to anyone she wants me to, but that I am not her boss. She then had me call up the owner and he confirmed that I was a manager. FML. No, just no. It was a small town, so I keep my job with no pay increase, but I got to deal with all the upset people. One good thing about this management position was I could say whatever I wanted to guests and the owner was 100% behind me. Can't pay me? GTFO. I don't give a f***. Oh, you smoked in my room? Yes, the paper you signed said it was a $150 smoking fee, but I apply that per day. Don't like it? Get the f*** out. I could also take care of guests in ways I never imagined, as in making their room the same room every time they came in, or knocking off a few bucks off a room rate because the hotel failed them. HK not checking sheets for stains, or the front desk thinking they told the guests something correctly, but they were way wrong, stuff like that. I was then offered a GM job managing a crappy no-name hotel that was roach infested. I would be the only FDA and live on property. After doing the math, I would be making about 32 cents an hour, not including room and board. I went and took an unpaid 3-day vacation to see my dad and talk to him about what was offered to me to make sure I was seeing everything correctly and I was indeed getting a jacked up offer that would ruin me. Well, I found out that Dad's health was failing him and he asked me to quit my job and move back home with him so I could help take care of him. He lived in the city I started my hotel work in. So after I thought long and hard the next day, I went into work that Monday and talked to my owner. I declined the GM offer and put in my notice. He asked me if I could still work for 3 weeks to get a strong FDA to take my place. I agreed, and I also agreed to train them myself. After moving back home to help out Dad, I let him know that I needed to make my own money and I needed to work for my mental health. A lot of people let me know about an area with 4 hotels that was 10 miles from my home, so I did my research and applied at 3 out of the 4. I was offered jobs at 2 of the hotels, and after weighing my options, I made my pick and started that next day. It was 3 days a week working the 3 to 11 p.m. shifts. Then Dad had 2 major surgeries, and he was better than he has been in years, so I went to full-time working the 3 to 11 p.m. shift. Then Dad got even better, and I asked my GM what I needed to do to move up in the company. I was offered a night manager job with a very small raise. After around 3 months of Dad doing well and he was able to cook his own food and do normal everyday things like take a shower on his own and put on his own shirt and pants, so I went back to my GM and I asked him again, what do I need to do to move up more in the company? He told me that 3 weeks ago he offered an AGM job to someone else and he would love to move me into that spot, but he could not just give up on someone just because someone who he knew could do it better came along. So the waiting game started. Here I am, in my 30s now, no high school diploma, no college, just my work ethic and 6 years in the hotel business. I'm waiting my time for the next step in my work life. Then one day, I was at home and I was playing some video game, and I got a call at 8 p.m. from my GM. I answer, and he offers me the AGM job. The last AGM accepted a job offer in the field that he was going to school for. I wake up the next day, and I feel like I'm going to puke. I know that I'm going to mess up a lot due to not being able to hear everything correctly that my boss says, due to strong ringing in my ears. I'd be messing up more due to overthinking and just being new in a job that I've never done before. I thought about my dyslexia, and I told myself that no matter what happens, I would not be fired for not giving my 100% all the time. So I went into work, and my GM called me into his office before I could take 3 steps into the building. What he offered me made my jaw hit the floor. He offered to be my mentor. I think I accepted him being my mentor before he could finish his sentence. Every time I came across something new and I did not know how to handle something, I would ask him what he thought and how he would handle the problem or how he would handle a sales call. I worked hard for 9 months and learned everything I could from my boss. I know at some points in that 9 months my GM thought to himself, what the f was I thinking? This dude is insane. I just keep working my hardest and trying new things, and before I knew it, I was the main contact for the 3 of the biggest accounts that we had. I had them eating out of the palm of my hand. I keep working harder and harder to find new business and make as much money as possible for the hotel, while at the same time making as many customers as happy as I could. Let's jump ahead to yesterday, 7/18/19, to my boss calling me after I get done doing a 12-hour shift. He asked me if I have time to talk. I was passing out. I was so tired from working that I could barely keep my eyes open, but I told him, sure, what's up? Can I help you with something? He then tells me that my time has come and he offers me a multi-million-dollar hotel to be GM of. My body goes numb. I ask a few questions about pay and other things I need to know before I accept his offer. Here I am, no degree, no schooling besides the School of Hard Knocks, and I'm on the phone working out a deal that will change my life. I'm here living proof that if you work hard and try to make smart moves on where you work and how you deal in business, that you can go from FDA to BS title that makes you a manager, to FDA again, to night manager, to AGM, to GM. Let me tell you guys that the look on mom and dad's face of me telling them that I just accepted a GM job made all the long hours, the surprise double shifts worthwhile. I hope all of you are able to succeed in whatever you are trying to accomplish. Being someone who didn't do any post-grad school themselves, I love hearing stories of people who have made it without post-secondary education. Kudos to OP for making it in this life. It's a very hard thing to do and requires a lot of work and dedication. Also, thanks to OP for giving me permission to narrate their story today. You can find links to the story itself and their profile on Reddit in the description below. Please go there and give them an upvote. Once again, this is Rob from Karma Comic Chameleon saying thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I ask you to hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share it with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one.